All right, guys, you're looking at another masterpiece here, I think, from Scott Armstrong. You know, when you open up a flat rate box and there's a piece of cutout foam fitted to the custom lock, you know you got problems. I do have a letter that came with it, so I'm going to keep it off screen, but read you a couple things. I'll give you the executive summary. It says, here's another lock I've been tinkering with in my free time. It's not built around a commercial lock. Ditching factory parts gave me a lot more freedom in design, dimensions, and tolerances. If you want to have a look at the key, let's see, if at some point, I think that's fair. I think I'll pass on that, Scott. I don't like to do that. And let's see, last word of warning, go slow when pulling pins 3 and 5 from the Bible. It may be unclear how everything was arranged if it dumps out all at once. I hope you enjoy picking the lock, and thanks for all the quality content. Scott, I think this is about the third lock you've built for the LockLab. You are providing all the quality content. Just like all of Scott's previous locks, he's given me a follower here to go along with this custom lock. This is the key. He did this last time, and I really didn't realize it's exactly what was going on. It's more obvious now. This is sealed up with what looks like Kapton tape. So probably remove that safety seal, and then the key will slide out. I didn't realize that last time, and I actually peeled off a piece of the wood trying to get at it. But now I see how creative Scott is. And now we get to the true creativity. A steel cube, like a giant dice. He did in the letter say the keyway is wide open. He says, enjoy that space. Because he had to do it this way because he had limited tooling available. So it's wide open. You can see in there just a little bit, and I noticed that that first pin is, of course, a custom pin, very heavily serrated. I can only imagine what the rest of those guys look like. It's a solid piece of steel that he turned into a lock. So he machined both this cube and the core. He does say that some sides are removable. So let's take a look. He says the rear is, let's see, we'll use this guy. Little bitty thumbnail hole. Try not to break anything. There we go. Huh. That's magnetic. There must be a piece of, I think that's magnetic. That is definitely magnetic. Somewhere in here is a magnet or a piece of steel. I don't see it though, but just have to trust me. Okay, there is the back of the lock. That's probably a weird size. That's probably why he gave me the follower, no doubt. Okay, so I'm going to definitely need that. Let's put him back. He says the left side of the lock comes off, and that's actually a grub screw. Also magnetic. That is so cool. All right, I have no idea what these two are, but the grub screw right there is how the one you remove to get the core out. Having peeked at this, I can only imagine what's hiding behind those two guys. And put that dude back. That is very neat. And the top is obviously where all the pinning comes in. Probably some, there we go. So very neat, very precise. All right, put that dude back on. All right, well, let's get to it. Let me just set this guy right over here. I'm going to call it a challenge lock. I think Scott just likes to show off his stuff, and God, I don't blame him. If I could do this kind of work, I'd be showing it off too. Clamp it up there. I am going to move that. I may need to get at these picks over here. So get that focused. Use top of the keyway. So let me find a tensioner. My thick one. I know there's got to be one here somewhere that I can use. I'm going to use the thickest one I have. So it's going to be this guy, 1.2 millimeters. And it's still about all we got. Looking for a decent marker, just in case we get something. And insofar, it is a very wide open keyway, so I'm just going to use a teaspoon to pick it with. Yeah, right. Use this guy from the Praxis kit that I put these handles on. Came out kind of nice. But because it's so wide, I can afford to get a 25 thousandths, very high rise in there. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, I do feel 6. We knew there were 6 because I saw 6 plugs on the top, but we're getting hung up right about here. Okay, now that I've kind of peeked under that panel, which I probably shouldn't have done, I don't like to do that, but I was showing off the workmanship, and we do have some weirdness sticking out of the left side. Should have known. Scott, can't you leave it alone? All right, well, I'm going to try it. Let's go ahead. Hey, Siri, start a 10-minute timer. She never listens. Hey, Siri, start a 10-minute timer.
Okay, 10 minutes and counting.
All right, let's see what we got. Attempt number 1. Let me move this around just a little bit and get at it. Let me first try to rake him. I'm not holding a lot of hope, but I might be able to do it. All right, this is a multi-pick. It is the PN. Let's see what we got here. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. The BOG03, the Bogota. Okay, the side pins are now out of the way. I'm afraid of... Arg. All right, this is a little harder than I thought. All right, attempt number 2. Hey, Siri, start a 10-minute timer. How come I got to tell you everything twice? Hey, Siri, start a 10-minute timer.
Your timer is set for 10 minutes.
Man. All right, let's start on attempt number 2. Get these 2 guys. Get the tensioner in there. Slide it in. Shove them off to the side. All right, guys. That's 30 minutes. That's 3 10-minute attempts, total failure. Sam, we'll go ahead and start trying to do this. I have an overheat indicator on my camera, but we'll try it anyway. It has been kind of a long session, so it's not surprising. Okay, let's see make sure it works. I do have the sealed key, still sealed. Obviously, I didn't. If I had cheated by peeking, it certainly wouldn't have helped. All right. That is unusual. I don't think I've ever seen a key like that before. Those guys, they clearly have to protrude all the way through the key. That is really cool. And it works. It got a little stuck there, but there we go. It does work. So it's a valid challenge lock. Let's go ahead and I'll tell you what, I don't want a failure right in the middle of this, so I failed to pick this, so I'm not going to lose anything by turning off the camera and letting it cool off for a few minutes. So let me do that, and then I'll leave it right there. We'll be back in about 10 minutes when things cool down a little bit. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. I guess when you film at 1080 and 60 frames per second, it generates a lot of CPU heat, obviously. All right, let's try this thing. I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. This is the back one. It actually popped off one time when I pushed my pick. Just to show you, when you push your pick, well, the A pick, too far, it does shove it off. So it fell off once and I had replaced it, but that's an easy way to get it to come off. Take this guy off of there. Definitely magnetic. And take this guy off of there. Okay, I think the best way to do this is probably to take these plugs out and remove them in kind of a controlled fashion. I was warned about this. It says, see if I find it in the letter. I think I read it to you. Just be careful when you take it apart. Here we go. Go slow when pulling pins 3 and 5 from the Bible. It may be unclear how everything is arranged, and if you dump it all at once. I tend to dump things all at once, so let's not do that. Let us... Wrong size. Wrong size. Wrong size. Okay, these are not metric. No problem. Got to be this guy. All right, US. Let's get a pinning tray. Let's move all this stuff out of the way. All right. I'm going to start with number 6. The only thing about dumping them is they got that little ledge there. All right. I got him. I got him. It is a steel double spool with serrations. No, I said that was number 6. That was number 1. What am I doing? That's probably what like 100 of you guys were asking. What are you doing, Bill? And we have a steel serrated key pin. All right, number 2. Come on. No. Come on. He does not want to come out of there. Let's put number 2 back just for a second. Try the rest of them first before I go too crazy. See if we can get the rest of them to cooperate. Okay, this is one he said to look out for. Okay, he's starting to come out. You can see him right there. See if I can get him to just stick his head up a little bit so we can grab him. And it is a steel standard pin. And the key pin is a ball bearing. See if there's anything else in there. No. A ball bearing. Yep, that's all I see. All right. Number 4. Okay, he's starting to come out. Come on. Man, those are tight. All right, he's almost out of there. Okay, we have a barrel pin, steel, very nicely done. Really wide ridge in the middle. Very nice. And the key pin is spooled with a very sharp edge on him. All right, number 4. Okay, he's starting to come out. Come on, baby. Oh, ball bearing popped out. Where did you go? There he is right there. Okay, so we have a standard pin and we have a ball bearing. All right, number 6. And then we'll go back and get 2 who appeared to be stuck. Come on. There he is. Look at that. Beautiful work. It is a T-pin with like 5, I don't know, 6 or 7 serrations on them, and they do not move, but look at how sharp that is. Talk about precision cutting. My goodness. All right, let's see if we can get the 6 out of there now. Keep in. I saw him. There he is. Another serrated. All right, let's go back and try to get number 2. Try to coerce him. I didn't really want to beat on this lock. We may not have a lot of choice. He is definitely stuck down at the bottom of there. All right, let me find a beater. Here we go. I have a beater with a plastic end, a nylon. And he's still not coming out, guys. Nothing. All right, let me put the key in there and see if we can force him up out of position. Well, he came up, but he's stuck in that chamber. There we go. Okay, we had another one of these serrated guys with a spool in the middle and a T-pin on the end. So 3 different technologies. And the key pin looks, and this is really weird. Let me set him down. This is really cool. We have reduced diameter on 2 ends, on the upper part and then also on the bottom. So it's basically pivoting along the center of the key pin, wobbling around in there. Great. Okay, now let's take this grub screw out. Tell you what, let's just pull these side guys out one at a time. Let's pull out roughly number 3 first. Put him right here. I'll tell you what, let's put him on number 3 where he belongs. It is a ball bearing. There's got to be more to it than that, right? There it is. It just fell on my fingers. And there's your huge blocker pin. And the last one in position 5. He really came shooting out of there, didn't he? Again, it looks like another ball bearing down the side of there. There he is. And probably another one of those. Come on. I know you want to come out. Ah, looks to me like the core has slightly turned. There we go. All right. Let me take the key and stick him in there to make sure everything's aligned. And then maybe he'll come out when I jiggle the key. Come on. There he is. Man, talk about tight. All right, now it ought to rotate freely, and it does. And let's take out the final grub screw and take a look at this core. That could be this guy. First guess. All right, I'm going to hold him just in case, and I'm going to use the follower just in case there's some craziness. I doubt it, but man, that was a perfect, look at that. Perfect fit. Doesn't hardly any wobble in that. It is an absolute perfect fit. Beautiful, beautiful work. And I'm looking at some beautiful work on this core too. Let me go ahead and take the follower out, get this guy out, set him right there. And let's take a look at this. My goodness. I need a light. All right, I really hope this shows up. Come on, focus for me. If you take a look at chamber number 3 and 5, there's a little ledge in there. And I'm wondering exactly how that plays. Talk about a perfect fit. Look at that. Okay, if we roll him over, I think you can see in the bottom, he actually blocks the keyway. That's what I was having trouble getting by. There's with 2 of those in there. Like so. They actually, in order to clear the shear line, these both had to be fully extended into the keyway. So as you access those 6 pins on top, if you shove these out of your way like I insisted on doing almost every single attempt, as soon as you shove them out, like I was doing with this guy, immediately you have blocked, you can't rotate the core. Even the thickness of a 25 thousandths pick will prevent that core from rotating. Isn't that something? But when the key is in, where'd the key go? Obviously, with the holes in there that allow them to sit all the way down, it's going to sit perfectly flush, just like that, while it raises all the pins to the correct height. What a devious design. These are definitely not passive pins. Definitely not for key control. All right, when we look inside of here, I do notice a couple more things. There's no threading inside of 1 or 2, but in 3, there's a little ledge right here and a little ledge right there. So let's look at number 3. Pin 3 is a standard. Okay, so let's look at pin 5, also a standard. So that was probably, give me the key pin, Bill. Ah, they are to keep the ball bearing from falling down into the keyway. That's what they're for. All right, got it. Whoa. All right, well, I know where they go. Not a biggie, not a biggie. Right there, and right there, and there should still be one left in the side. All right, you know, if you guys heard me say this before, I don't feel bad about getting beat by a lock like this. It looks like it's almost a physical impossibility to pick all 6 of these without oversetting one or both of these. And I think that's what I did for the entire 30 minutes. I believed that these had to be shoved out of the way, when in fact, if you touch them, you blew it. All right, inside of here, I do see threads, but I think the threads are only in the top. I don't think they go all the way down into the chamber. So we have smooth chambers despite all of these serrations. I think I blew it simply by oversetting these 2 guys. And I think that if you use any kind of pick of any thickness, to include even a 15 thousandths, I think you're going to force these. It's made with such tight tolerances, probably even one of my 10 thousandths. In fact, let's find out. We got time, right? All right, if I had taken a 10 thousandths and tried to rake it, I don't know if you can see that, but that's exactly how much it's going to stick up. And that's all it takes to block, shove it down. That's all it would take to block the core from rotating. What a devious design. I hope the manufacturers don't pick up on that. I really do. Otherwise, we're going to have to take up basket weaving. Anyway, Scott, you get I'm going to give you one of these guys. I've only got a few of the others left. I've already given you one of the normal locks, the block locks. This will be the first one of these that I give, the 900. So you've already won one of the other ones, and you fully deserve this guy, too. I know you said don't send it to you, but you, my friend, have earned it with quality content. All right, guys, I'm sorry for the length of the video, but when you get something like this intricate, made with this amount of precision, I just had to give it every possible chance to get into it and give myself every possible chance. Didn't work out, and I really don't see, as long as these two pins were active, I could have gone another 30 minutes and still never, I'd be pulling my hair out, what little I have left. Anyway, guys, appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Scott Armstrong, thank you, sir, for your precision handmade lock. Thanks, guys.